Welcome back to the channel. My name's Prem. This is part 2 of our rebuild and commission this Mercedes back on the road. Today is cleanup day. It's the part that I least look forward to doing. So 40 plus years of engine parts, components which are covered in crud, which you will see. So we need to clean, and then certain parts need to be reconditioned. So let's just get on with it.
So cylinder head work. Plan is to get all the valves out and then drop it off at the machine shop so they can clean it, degrease it, and just skim the surface, the mating surface, which is the other side. Don't worry, it's not resting on the bench itself, it's resting on 2 pieces of wood. So let me start getting stuff like these switches off and get the plugs out, and then I'll show you an example of getting one of these springs out. Just tighten this down, and then with a magnet get the collets out. That's one. Where's the other one? 11 to go. So you've got 2 springs in there. There's the top. More importantly, let's put this down. One inlet valve, which doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad. And if we put the valve back in, there's hardly any play in the valve guide, which I'm really happy about. So the only thing that needs to be done here is going to be a clean up, skim, reseating the valves, obviously new valves, stem seals. This head will be good to go.
Next up for cleaning is the power steering pump. Again, it's filthy. I think it's leaking. We need to get the pulley off first, and then we'll give it a wash. I've managed to get, there's a seal behind it. I'll show you now. So there's a seal in here, and there'll be a crush washer seal in there, and then one behind. There's an Allen key here somewhere behind the grub. So one down there, and obviously you've got a main seal behind the shaft. There we go. That's now free. There's no damage done to that because you put the nut back on, and there you go. Yep, that front seal is it's leaking. You can see now it's nice and clean. All the grease has been removed, so back to aluminium. So the main bits I need to do in here is this front main seal, and there's going to be a copper wash under this bolt. There'll be another seal under here, and then finally there'll be seals under this cover. So to take this apart, we'll start with moving this cover, and then we'll start getting the insides out. That shaft will come out, and then we can start replacing parts. So here's the kit we'll be using to recondition. So it's a Febby. Part number is, well, Febby number is 08710, and that's the original Mercedes number. And in this kit, we got these two, which we got at the back. Copper washers of the bolt at the front, and a little rubber thing which will go behind the Allen key at the side. The front main seal I have purchased separately. It is an original L-ring. I'll show you when I take it out. There we go. You can see there. It's an original L-ring item. Okay, so if I one hand pull that out down, There we go. Okay, got it. So now we can carry on bringing the and it didn't blow up in my face, which is a bonus. That's the first part out. Just remember the small side down. And there you can see where the two seals go in there and there. There's the internal guts of it. So I think start moving the pins out. So that's out. That's out as well. Okay. And then we push it through. That's it. There's the guts of it. So give this a clean. Start taking all the old seals out there. Yes, one's further down, one's up. Oh, hang on. These little bits actually create the overpressure. So let's put this down. Yeah, so there's several of these. These will all go back in this bit. So they all go in here. And when that moves around, that other housing. Okay, so all the nuts and bolts are out of this now, so that one's out. All the gubbins are out of there, so here's the that's what I was talking about. And underneath there, you've got a spring, and you've got some kind of check relief valve. So that's what goes in this one here. So the only thing left to take out now is the old seal, which I'll do like that. And now it's ready to be back together. So we'll start here actually. So seal goes the piece of wood, and then just gently tap it down with a mallet. Well, I'll be able to put the check valve back in with the new washer. So this drops in here. Spring over the top. There's the new washer. This wipe. I'll degrease this anyway after I've finished. That goes there. Then the old seals are here. So this one and the one lower down. Again, there's plenty of oil still in here. Right, pins are in. So this goes in next. So if would we want to rebuild this here and then put it in? I think we got to rebuild this here first, and then we can drop it in. So this is the tricky bit. So I'm going to put all these back in like this. I think that's how it works. They fling out, won't they? Let me put this back over the top. And there. That's it. And final piece is going to be the cover. Just don't forget there's a new seal in there. That goes there to hold the pressure in. And with a bit of perseverance, it's back together. So it's got to make sure you get it far down so you can just push that start of the clip in and work your way around.
Already degreased it. I'm not going to go further than that because A, you can't see it, and B, because it's oil filter housing, I don't want to get anything in there, any kind of residue or anything else. So a degrease, and I'm just gonna open this just to clean up the relief valve. I'll show you that when it's apart. So here it is the relief valve's out, same as before, spring, piston, and then you obviously got the bit at the top, the bolt. This is really tight, so I had to use a gently, I put an air gun onto it. So yeah, that's off. I will now replace this washer because there's a ton of them in the conversion set, so I'll replace this while we're at it, give that a good clean out, and that's ready.
Next up, cleaning inlet manifold. Seen better days, I suppose. There's a lot of carbon buildup in there and in the inlet. So I've actually sprayed this with a cleaner, let that soak in. It's not going to go in the parts washer, so what I will do is take it outside and brush your gunk onto it, and we'll then clean with the hose and carry on till we sort of get a nice clean aluminium finish. I'll get these bits taken up before I do that. Now, in stripping this engine, you'll come across, I think, 5 to 6 dowels, pins. For example, you got the guide, you got the chain guides, you got the chain guide tensioner here. So this one is held in by this dowel here. So all the dowels have a thread inside. So this engine being how old it is, so what you would need to do is clean the threads out, and then either get a slide hammer, so you screw it in and then bang it out, and that brings the pin out. Or what I've done is get a piece of threaded bar, cut it down to size. You can then screw it in, and then once you screw it in, and then put, let's say, over this, and put a socket over the top, a couple of washers, and then get a screw on there, and then once you turn it, that starts pulling it out. So there's 2 ways of doing this. So I'll just quickly show you this one. So threaded bar, and then you get it right as further down as possible. So I've got your socket, put a washer, then we get a few more washers, then you put your single nut on there, take it all the way down. Now it's ready. So let's use the ratchet spanner, and then you start gently tightening it. Oh, I think that's just broken the interference with seal. There we go. And that is now out. Hey, pressed. So as you can see, these pistons are covered in crud, oil, which is burnt through the failed breather, which normally happens. And you got a ton of carbon, which will also be sitting behind each of these rings. So I don't want to use anything too abrasive. I've got a couple of things over there. So these are water-based. That's a water-based solvent-free cleaner. And I've got a degreaser in here. This is not a kitchen cleaner, but a degreaser. But again, it's also solvent, so water-based. So I'm going to spray it and then use a nylon brush. And let's see if we can get this clean. Right, so after about 5 minutes of cleaning, we've got to this stage. I'll remove the rings and I'll show you what's underneath those rings. Right, more carbon deposits. All that needs to be cleaned out before new rings are fitted. Reason being is if you don't clean out this carbon and you put a ring back in or a new one back in, that's going to sit on there and it might even might become more tighter in the bore when it warms up. So it's important that you clean all these out before you do anything else. Well, before you refit the new rings. And the best way to do this, I always found, is to take an old ring, snap it, and just use it just to sort of scrape that out gently. Another piece to get ready before we start rebuilding is the oil pump. So I've degreased this, so I don't get my hands too dirty. So what we're going to do is there's a relief valve in there. So I think we should start by taking this Allen key out, and then the 4 bolts that hold the gears inside, and then we can check if there's any wear on this item or if it's good to go. Clean it up, rebuild, and off we go. There you go. That wasn't too hard. Which looks like that. And the spring's inside there. So take that one out. It's going to be soft. It's not even 10 mil. What's going on here? It is 10 mil. That's 10 mil. So why is this? Because that's 11. There we go. That shaft stays in. That is inside an oil pump. So it's these two gears meshing together which creates a suction to pick up the oil. So let's take this apart a bit further. Try to remember if there's any markings on here. I'll put that back in as it is. This one, we can't get it wrong. But the other one, I want to make sure it stays in the same direction as it's been fitted for all these years. And the wear you're looking at is on these teeth here. So these teeth here. If you look the other way, get the other side. They're all pretty clean. There's no scratches. There's no massive gouges in there. So say this water oil pump is good to go. Hold right hand is up. Right hand is up. Just remember that. So again, this side, all the teeth, and I can just again, I want to put it back in the same way it's been fitted for all these years. And the other side, nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'll put that down like this. And then next thing to check is the actual housing. So here, again, there's no marks or scratches or gouges. Same here. And the face here. Because don't forget, this is where the actual oil pressure is created. So again, the surface in there. Let's give it a wipe. There. Nothing wrong with it. So everything's been cleaned, degreased. You can see it's very good condition. Anyway, so we'll start with the relief valve, which sits in here. Goes in there. There you go. That's back in place. The other gear, this one, will drop in here. Now we can take the masking tape off. And while we're putting this together, use loads of oil. The other gear. So here you can see the brass bearings, washers, bearings, what do you call them? I'll say more of a bearing, isn't it? Already pressed in. One there, and that's what you want on the side of that one. So that goes in gently. And again, we put a dab of oil in here. Let's pull it back a bit. And then a bit over here. There you go. There. Let's screw these. What was this? Nut. Pump more oil in. This is where the oil comes out. So when you start this thing up, first start, it's going to be very important. Oh, you're going, sorry, dripping out now. It's very important that this oil pump is not dry. Yeah, It has to actually be able to siphon oil up straight away. Okay, that's done. That should be more than enough. Let's do the plastic edge while we're waiting for the rope seal. So for plastic, you don't need a ton of it. I just cut a bit of it off like that. There, just a tiny bit. So that's now going to sit. So we're going to use a number 4 journal. So we put it on top of the journal here. So the plastic gauge is in place. Gently put the cap back down. I'm going to give it a tap with the mallet. There you go. You heard that then. And now, a couple of clean bolts. So I'll think for something like this, because we're just testing. I think 40 odd foot-pounds of torque is more than enough. It now. More to come out. I think this is your mallet. Because it's on pins, it's going to be a bit difficult to come out, bring it out. It's moving now. There you go. There. Right, you got the imprint there. There. That's 2.5 thousandths of an inch. I may go and check the manual, but that's the clearance for the mains anyway. We measured 2.5 of a thousandth. So here, crankshaft and conrod. So main bearings maximum running clearance is 0.0031 maximum. So we're at 0.025, and that's 0.08 millimeters. So ours was 0.0025, and in millimeters 0.0635 millimeters. So again, it's within specification. It's a testament to Mercedes, how well they built this stuff in the old days. After all these miles, it's still serviceable, and with new bearings, we're bang up to date again. The other measurement that you saw in that last clip was the end float, which is the clearance between the thrust bearing and the crank. So I've tapped it crank that way with the mallet, and the only feeler I can get in here is this one, which is 0.18, and you see from the previous it's 0.3. So again, this is, and don't forget that 0.3 is a maximum run out. The end float, that's a maximum. So this is a less than that. So again, with the new bearings, as a result, ring sitting in there square, and checking this one 0.53 is perfect interference. So it goes in, but yeah, it's no slack in it. This one's just catching on this 0.53 mil, this one here, 0.53 mil feeler. So that's got a bit of grip on it. So yeah, that's really good news. So that's just a top ring. So I'll check the other ones. You can see there's a very shiny finish on the inside of these bores. So what I want to do is, using one of these glaze breaker, is we'll oil it up and then use a drill and then slowly bring it up and down, and these
these stones, well, fine stones, we'll then put a cross hatch back into the bore so it could be able to retain oil during operation, which is what the cross hatching is there for in the first place. So you retain slightly bit of oil, so just to lube the rings. As you can see from this last shot that the glaze break is now complete. All 6 bores are now equally cross-hatched. This marks the end of part 2. The next part will be the rebuilding this engine. So if you've liked what you've seen, please subscribe and like the video, and I shall see you in the next one.